In the previous video of this KMP playlist, we delved into Kotlin Multiplatform and explored how it works under the hood. If you haven't seen that video yet, I highly recommend watching it before moving on to this one. In this video, we will build our first multi-platform application using Kotlin and discuss some essential concepts that we need to understand before diving in. From the previous video, we learned that Kotlin Multiplatform mainly help us to share logic across different platforms. But what about the UI? Can we share it across platforms as well? The answer is yes, thanks to Kotlin Multiplatform, an extended framework from Jetpack Compose originally designed for Android. With Compose Multiplatform, you now have the flexibility to share your code as much as you want. You can share just a piece of logic, the entire application logic including the UI, or both, depending on your project needs. Before we start working with KMP, it's important to note that as of the time that I'm recording this video, Compose Multiplatform is currently at version 1.6. This version is stable for desktop and Android usage, but for iOS and web it is not fully production ready as they are still in beta and alpha phases. To develop a Kotlin multi-platform project, you need to use the KMP template, which is different from the other templates available in Android Studio. However, you can install the Kotlin Multiplatform plugin from the Android Studio Marketplace. Once installed, the KMP project templates will be added to your Android Studio default templates. An easier way, which many people prefer, is to use Kotlin Multiplatform Wizard online. You can access it at this URL to create your own KMP project. After filling fields with your preferences, download the project template and open it using Android Studio or any other IDE that you are comfortable with. After you open your project in Android Studio, make sure this section is set to project so you can see the entire structure inside your KMP project. Otherwise, it will only show you the Android application structure. We have multiple files here, which I will explain briefly. For now, just consider that the Compose app folder contains all the code in our project. But before diving into that folder, let's take a look at what each of the other folders does. At the top, we have a folder called Fleet. When you open it, you can see it has a JSON file that contains some details. This JSON file typically includes metadata about the project configuration. This JSON file specifies that the project uses the KMT template and targets both Android and desktop platforms. This is typically the options that you chose at first from the Kotlin Multiplatform Wizard. There is another file called local.properties, which is used for specifying a local configuration specific to your development environment. This file specifies the location of the Android SDK on your local machine. It is important to note that this file should not be checked into version control systems as it contains information specific to your local configuration. There are some things about Gradle that if you come from Android development, you should already have some idea about what it does in an application project. But if it's not clear to you, I will make another video to explain everything completely. So I will skip talking about Gradle here. The last thing you need to know before going to the Compose app is Gradle W. As you can see, we have two of them. One is written in Bash, which is for running your app on Linux, and the other one is written in Batch, which is for running your application on Windows. Now let's see what is inside the Compose app folder, which is the source where we implement our application. Inside it, we have different folders. For example, one related to the Android platform and the other one, as you know, it is for desktop development. But there is another folder called Common Main. If you watched the first video in this playlist, then you know what common code is, and there is no need for more explanation. This is the exact common code that will be shared across platforms. To run the resulting project for Android, you can simply run it normally as you do. Just choose your emulator and click the run button. But for desktop, it is a little different. Go to the main file in your desktop folder and run the code inside by clicking the play button beside the main function. And wait for it. If you get an error, try running it using terminal. Just click here and the terminal will open. To run the file, type /gradlew run, and press enter. If you have Java installed on your system and have set the path for the system environment variable correctly, there should be no problem and you will have the app running on your device. So this was a quick explanation of how KMP works, how to make your own Kotlin multi-platform project, and running it step by step. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. This will help me a lot with growth on my YouTube channel. If you have any other questions about the video, just leave them down below. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you in the next videos.